Hey everyone, this is Stan Heller here with VectorVest Canada, and in this short video I wanted to show you how to find the best performing ETFs in 2021. We'll do this for both Canada and the US stock market. Now we know the stock market delivered excellent returns in 2021, and most investors, whether they were invested in stocks or ETFs, did quite well. However, now, as we look to adjust our investment portfolios in 2022 to account for more COVID disruptions, rising inflation, and multiple interest rate hikes, one consideration is that we might want to reduce our risk even further by diversifying with a few select ETFs. So if we didn't look at ETFs last year, we should be looking at them this year, but which ones might be the best choices is what we're going to look at today. And a great place to start is by identifying and analyzing the best performing ETFs from 2021. And VectorVest makes that quite easy to do, so let's go ahead. Here is VectorVest Canada, and we're going to go to the UniSearch tool. That will allow us to very quickly and easily find the best performing ETFs for 2021. So I've opened it up and got a clean slate. So I'm just going to start filling in the criteria that we want to look at. And stocks will set a minimum price value here. So price volume and price actual down at the bottom. Greater than, and we'll just type or select custom value and then type a 1, so $1. We'll give it some average volume, even though this is an ETF and some of these will be index ETFs, but they will get some volume from the underlying shares, or liquidity I should say, from the underlying shares, but we still want some minimum volume. Let's go to stocks. Price volume, 50-day moving average. And for Canada, I'm just going to choose 20,000. So custom value, and then type in 20,000. In the US, I would select 50,000 as a minimum. And of course, in any of these values, you can change to suit your own experience and investment style. So the next criteria is an important one. It's going to set our look back period. So this is the delta that we're going to be using. So for that, we need to choose stocks, price volume, and price split adjusted. That allows us to choose in the operator a delta. Here it is here at the bottom. So that's just going to give us the percent gain or loss over a defined look back period. And we're going to be choosing January 4th of 2021 as our start date for the look back period. So for that, then I'm going to come under value and I'll choose specific time. Here's our date calendar that pops up. So I'll left click in there and it gives me a drop down menu, and I just want to take the date back 1 year. So I'll click in the month there, January. And then just with one left click of the arrow, I could go to January 2021, and I'll choose January 4th, the beginning of the year, and click on OK. That sets my date. Now here is display only, and you can see I've got greater than, less than, all of those, but I'm going to choose sorted because I want the ETFs to show up in order of their price gain. So here is sorted, and it's defaulted to descending, so I can just leave it at that. Click on OK. And so my look back period is set, and it'll look back to the current date, which is January 20th as I'm doing this video. Now, I could change the date to December 31st, and that would give me a 12-month period to look at. I'm just going to leave it as of the current date, January 20th, because I'm interested in the ETFs that are doing well all the way through this 1 year plus 2 or 3 weeks here in January 2022. So we're all set there. But now we just need to tell the search to return only ETFs. So I click in the parameter, stocks, filter by, and I'll choose sector equals selected sectors, left click there, and then check the box with a left click on ETFs. So this is setting everything up to return the top 10. I could go more, but I'll get the top 10 ETFs sorted by the percent gain in 2021. So that's what I'm looking for. That'll give me a great list to work with. Let's run the search. And there we go. And here we can see the price deltas, starting with an energy bull. So you can see here the industry is telling us the top two are leveraged. So these will be 2 times leverage. Just to confirm that, we're going to highlight HEU and right click. And then when I click on full stock analysis report, VectorVest will show current price and what happened today. It'll give me a business description. What I'm looking for here is any indication that it's leveraged. I want to make sure if I buy a leveraged ETF, I want to be sure that's what I want to do because a leveraged ETF 2 times will certainly deliver more gains, but there's more risk. You can lose at a 2-time rate as well. But this looks good. This is what I'm looking for. Currently it's buy rated, so that's always a good information to have. And as we go through, you see all of the other definitions and indicators. No dividend payment with this one. So in this case, I'm not concerning myself with dividends. As I scroll to the right, there are a few that do pay a dividend and still delivered a very strong capital gain here. And all the descriptions I can get. For example, if I'm interested in the TSX 60, that benchmark group of stocks, this is the ETF that tracks them. And when I right click on it and view the full stock analysis report, it tells me that it looks at the 60 bull, and again there's that word plus, so we know it's leveraged. Now on the US side it might say plus or 2 times leveraged or even 3 times leveraged. In Canada we don't have 3 times leveraged ETFs, so when I see the word plus I know it's a 2 times leveraged ETF. This one's a hold currently. All right, let's see. So if I look at the TSX banks, notice there is Hamilton CA banks as well, but I'm going to click on ZEB, full stock analysis report. So I'm beginning my analysis already just by looking at the full stock analysis report. It's an equal weighted banks index ETF. And there's what it's been doing lately. Pretty strong performance over the last 3 months. And it's currently rated a buy. And then all the other values are here as well. And it does pay a dividend yield of 2.96. And the dividend safety is 58 on a scale of 0 to 99. So ETFs typically, if they have been consistently good dividend payers on time and so on, they're going to have a value rating of 58 or so in our full stock analysis report. All right, so there is our list, and we can start our analysis there. The RV, which is an upside potential indicator, and relative safety, those are normalized to 1 since we don't know the the totality of the underlying um, shares that make up the ETF. But the RT is important to us. It's a technical indicator showing us the trend and the magnitude and strength of that trend. And it's on a 0 to 2 scale. We're above 1 in almost every case, except for the HSU, the S&P 500 in Canadian, with a Canadian ETF here. And of course, it's been falling in January, and so the ETF is below 1, telling us that the trend right now is down, sell rated. So this is why it's important to do your analysis before you just step in and buy these stocks. And there's our volumes. Over here, the average volumes are actually all considerably more than 20,000 average volume, so we're all good on volume. And then what I'd like to do is also look at the graphs, so I can graph them all here, just up at the top. Pull that over to full screen. And the default layout is price going across the top of the graph with a 40-day moving average. That's our VectorVest default. You can add another moving average if you like. For example, just right-click in the price column, add a moving average, and simple. And you might want a 10, for example, a 10-period moving average. There it is there. So pretty nice crossover here. Pretty nice crossover here. So you can do that if you like. And I'm just going to look for price crossing above the 40-day. And then importantly, we want the relative timing indicator in the subgraph to be rising. And when it crosses above 1, as it did here, that's a strong indication that the trend is continuing to go higher. And when the RT starts to hit lower highs, as it did here, even as price is also hitting a bit of a lower high, not really a divergence at all, but it's just an indication that we need to consider exiting the position. If it falls, price falls below the 40-day moving average, you can exit the position. Depending on your goals and risk tolerance, ETFs, this is a 2 times leveraged energy ETF, so this one has the potential to fall quite far when energy stocks, solar and power and oil are falling. You might you might want to make sure you take some risk off when price falls below the 40 and this RT is falling, and especially if it falls below 1, as it did here, that can be an indicator that price could fall even further. So from there, $13.88, it did fall to $11.92. So again, not huge, but it did fall. You can avoid that and then come back in when price gets above the 40. And that's generally the way I like to play the ETFs. When they're above the 40 and rising, RT is rising, it's a good time to be in that ETF. And again, you saw the 1-year results here. Now, if I went year to date and just changed my date calendar to December 31st, so that's a 12-month period, and the numbers are a little bit less in some cases, even though we've had a pretty significant drop in the market in January. These ETFs have held up quite well. Now, these are just regular ETFs. They may or may not pay a dividend. If I only want to look at the dividend payers, I would add one more criteria. That would be stocks. And I would come to dividend analysis. And I might look at the dividend yield. And I might go greater than, and for example, 2% would be a minimum dividend yield that I would find acceptable. So these are the capital gains again, the price performance over the last 12 months. And there's my dividend yields, the annualized dividend yield here. Dividend safety, all sort of normalized to 58. They've been paying their dividends. And if I don't want to look at leveraged ETFs, then I could just come in and go stocks, filter by. I'll need to go to watch list. And VectorVest maintains a watch list of leveraged ETFs. So I want to exclude that. So my operator is going to be does not equal. And in the value, I'll come into ETFs right here. And here are the leveraged ETFs that we want to avoid. So it does not equal leveraged ETF. So wherever I see leveraged, I'm just going to eliminate them. And then we have our non-leveraged. So I guess I could have gone equals to those two non-leveraged would have been another way to do it. But here we see these are index tracking or actively managed. They are not leveraged. And we can confirm that, and we should, by always looking at the full stock analysis report. So here's the Vanguard. Let's look at the iShares REITs. I think REITs will be sort of a safe haven and pay a good dividend. Let's see the dividend yield on the REITs here just before I do that. 2.58%, so pretty good. So XRE, quite a popular ETF. And we do the full stock analysis report. And it's a closed-end mutual fund managed by Barclays. And there's no mention of plus, so we know it's not leveraged. All right, so that gives us the leverage. And by the way, when we have our search set up the way we like it, we can always save it. We can create a new group for it, so a new folder, in other words, just like we have here. But we have my long searches already created, so I'll just come back up to the page again, click on the drop down, and actually I don't want a new search. I'll just click on the, since I've already created it, I'll click on the disk and save as. Opens up a new drop down menu, and these are dividend ETFs top 2021 performers. Click check along. I want to make sure it's a long search, and I'll put them in my long searches folder. Click OK, and that'll save the search for me. Now, if I take off the dividend yield, just delete that parameter, and I can come back up and save this search without the dividends. Save as, save it to the same folder. And we'll just remove the dividends, ETFs top performers, and I'll put non-leveraged. All right, so you can go ahead and save that as well. So now you've got two searches all saved, and the next time you want to run a similar search, you would just come in and change the delta look back period, and you're all set. All right, so that's how you would do that analysis, finding those great ETFs, and now you know how to look for them on the graph as well. Let's go into the US side here very quickly. I've already created the searches, so we don't need to do that again. But for example, here's the top dividend performers, and very strong performance again in 2021. My delta, again, Well, the date here is January 19th, so I'm seeing the results from January 4th, 2021, all the way to the current date, essentially. If I just bump that up here. No, we're not on the 19th yet. If we want to look at end of year, just the 12-month period, 12/31/21. Still very, very good results over that 12-month period. Here's the regular ETF performers to year end here, 12-month period, and BDRY, 248%. I mean, you're getting some diversification and great performance. Now, some of these are, you'll notice, 3 times leveraged here. Just have a look if I got the industry. Okay, don't have the industry, so just going to right click, layout, and we'll look for that VectorVest field. Unless I went by it here. Oh, there's the industry. It was way at the back. So I'm just going to move it up. Click OK. Run the search again. Okay, so it's a little bit different. We're not showing whether they're leveraged or not. So in the US, you are going to have to go ahead and just, oftentimes you'll see it in the name, 3 times leveraged, 2 times leveraged, so on. So Direxion, when we right click, full stock analysis report, daily performance results of the S&P 500 high beta index for the S&P 500. So Direxion funds quite often are leveraged. So we're getting some excellent returns there. And now you can do the rest of your analysis. And to see the ones that are not leveraged only, just you eliminate some of these 2 times, 3 times leveraged ETFs. These are the watch lists where they're held. Click on OK. And you're still getting terrific results, even though these are not leveraged, they're regular. And this gives us a little bit of a breakdown of the sector and industry over here. All right. Well, we've shown you how to set up that search, how you might wish to identify top performers in your ETFs and make some choices from there. Again, we're using this delta and quite a long look back period. If I wanted to change that a little bit or add a line, here's stocks, price volume, and split adjusted. Can add delta again. Now I can't sort again. I can only have one sort, but I can instead of a sorted, when I come down, maybe I want to see the last 20 days just since the beginning of January. So 20, I just typed in days, and this time I'm looking for greater than, and maybe greater than 0, just stock or ETFs that are showing a positive return in January, and also this large return over the year. So let's have a look. So here's your 20-day price deltas. So some of them have performed extremely well. Gasoline fund, oil. So you certainly don't want to ignore the oil sector in your searches. And here we go. You've got some big gainers in here over the last year and over the last 20 days or so in January. All right, listen, I hope that was helpful to you as I go back to the PowerPoint. Hopefully you'll like the video, click on the like button. Just smash that button to let people know you liked it and add to the audience that we attract for these videos. If you have questions or would like to take a trial of VectorVest, just call our support team 1-888-658-7638. And thank you for watching the video.